So it turns out today is pretty rainy and gloomy. So we're for a gloomy and rainy day project, we're getting ready to build a little gaming console for Tatiana using the RetroPie 3 Model B. There's a newer one out there called B Plus, but we didn't use the B Plus because the case we wanted it's not compatible with the B Plus, and this is what we're using. Plus, it's not really much of a performance difference anyway. So all you need is basically the RetroPie, a micro SD card. You know, it doesn't have to be huge. This one's 32 gigs, but an 8 gig one will work, and it must be compatible with Linux. They need a micro USB power adapter and a retro gaming controller. You also need an HDMI cable to connect it to your TV, and a keyboard to conduct the initial setup, and a kid that is willing to geek out for a little bit, and the support for our very young Dory. So that's all we need. So that'll be step one. Step two is to download the actual RetroPie image that will load into the micro SD card, and using the Win32 Disk Manager if you're using Windows. If you're using Linux, you can run a set of commands to load the image in here, and that's gonna take a while. So I guess we'll pause the video and continue when we're complete. Okay, so we downloaded the RetroPie image. It comes in a .gz file, which is a compressed file. So it turns out we have to extract it. I'm using 7-zip file manager, but you can use any other tool you prefer. And it's gonna take a little while. And once we get the .image file, we can use the Win32 Disk Manager to actually load the image into the micro SD card. And then from there, we'll just put the micro SD card into the Raspberry Pi and set up the emulator. All right, we're ready to write the image into the SD card. And it's almost, yes, you want to continue. And hopefully that takes just a few seconds. All right, so that's done. Okay, exit, and you can close it out and take it out of the computer and out of the adapter. This one nails come in handy. On, you can do it! There you go. And then you take out the micro SD from the adapter and put it directly into this little port right here. All right, so we got it all hooked up. It's inside the case. We hooked it up to HDMI. I used the Ethernet cable instead of Wi-Fi, but you can do Wi-Fi if you want. And then the controller. The second you hook up the power adapter, it goes right into the boot process. And the first thing you set up is the game controller.
And then now you're saying turtle ply.
Right. So we just finished the remote setup. Now we just go through and do any final configurations to match your choosing. You can go into download themes if you want and go straight into GitHub. And from there you can choose whichever themes you want. Alright. Now we set up the RetroPie initially with just the basic configuration. So now we have to move the games over. So if you go back to your regular laptop, RetroPie shows up in your trusted network if you have it set up that way. And if you notice, there's a lot of emulators already pre-configured or pre-installed in the RetroPie. So you can play either like Sega Genesis, Nintendo 64, Super Nintendos, and all you have to do is download the games that correspond with that specific emulator. So we just started with the Mario Kart for Nintendo 64. I already have the ROM downloaded. So all we have to do is copy that file and drop it on the respective folder for Nintendo 64. Control V. The second that copies, then we can go back to our RetroPie and just play the game. Ready to rock and roll. All right, so we moved over to the game, and here you see there's only Nintendo 64 available because that's the only game we have downloaded. So I'm getting ready to go back to study and download a few more games while Tatiana gets her fix of Mario Kart. And we'll select that, and boom, Tatiana is automatically transported to the early 90s. So I guess we'll be playing video games today. It's a rainy day. Marianne is in Galveston in a girls trip, so she's not here to stop us. So guess what, Marianne? We're playing video games all day, baby. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.